My name is Elena and I audited last year more than 500 companies. I audited companies, the most famous brands, most famous names in the world, which I cannot even tell sometimes. You can see it probably in my profile, in my articles on my post. Because of the NDA agreement and because I know the cybersecurity structure, I know how automotive industry will operate 5 years from now, what semiconductors industry researching and developing right now. So you can understand it's kind of sensitive information. But the most interesting area is how they implement cybersecurity, how they implement informational security, and what part of AI application and AI risk they already mitigated, and where everyone is going in this area. There is part of the companies who still in denial stage, and they're saying, oh, we don't use AI. We blocked AI in a company and it's not about us. So they still use AI widely, and the employees use AI. Every single application on our phone right now, either it will be Android or iPhone, using AI. So everyone using AI. And if you don't understand risk related to AI, you screwed your company. You still have to understand what risk AI posed, even if formally you're not using it in your operational processes. So you still need to understand what information in your company needs to be protected. And it's always something. So we all have the information what related to our employees, to our customers, to our suppliers, and we are responsible for protecting this information. Because now we have AI integrated to almost all software in almost all supplier provided product, even Microsoft, most widely Microsoft, because it's already shown big issues with data leak and breaches connected to AI. So I believe every single company have to understand that. And as minimum approach is to understand their own risk related to AIs and educate and train employees of how to mitigate those risks. What I would recommend in this particular area, any legislation, any law what related to AI right now, it's very declarative. What does it mean? It's just stating some obvious things like, oh, we commit to use AI responsibly, or we will not harm anything, we will not leak data, blah, 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 blah. But no one ever saying how to do that or not to do the bad thing, how to do the good thing, how not to do the bad thing. So no any legislation say that. So it's not practically applicable. The only legislation law with big fines what reinforced, any law what not reinforced never will be followed. But the only law what reinforced, it's European Union AI Act. It has huge fines, but it's only applicable to big AI platform developers like Google, Apple as an integration of AI platform, or OpenAI, ChatGPT. But it's not applicable to thousands companies who still integrate AI platform in their product and supply it to you. So it's not applicable to them. And it's not applicable to the companies. So how we ensure what we responsibly using AI, so it will not create the risk for our customers, it's not create the risk for our products, but at the same time, we using all opportunities what AI give us with mitigating risk. I would suggest to implement ISO 42001 in your company, even if it's small business. And you can do this even without any certification fees, any fees related to paying to implementers, paying to external consultant to do that. It will be even better, because when you're paying external consultants to implement ISO standards in your company, just for the sake to have the paper, to have certification, you will never understand how it's working and it will not be integrated in your business processes. But if you're implementing those ISO standards into your business processes, if you figure out how it's working, if you understand why you're doing this, how it's adding value to your business processes, in this case, it will improve your company stands. It will mitigate risk, and it also will be flawlessly integrated in your business processes. So it's well worth it to understand how it's works. So ISO standard structure has a high-level structure, and what does it mean? High-level structure is like a set of instructions, set of SOP, standard operating procedures, but walking you through the standards from the beginning to the end to help you to implement this system where you will be sure what your company using AI responsibly, what you're evaluating your suppliers, what you're evaluating risk coming from the vendors, from subcontractors, and you can guarantee to your customers what you assessed all risk and you re-evaluating them on a regular basis. You can implement ISO standards and management system, AIMS, it's Artificial Intelligence Management System, with certification or without certification. Without certification, you can state to your customers what you have fully implemented artificial intelligence management system or you fully implemented informational security management system in compliance with 27001. You just don't have third-party certification about that, which is kind of some customers is really happy with that. Honestly, most of the customers have no idea what they want, and sometimes they want really random thing. I came across the companies that wanted to have SOC 2 certification from the company. When I explained them what it's mean and what probably NIST compliance, not certifiable, will be much better for them, or sometimes it would be TSAX. They happily agreed on that. So they didn't understand the difference between SOC 2, ISO 27001, TSAX, or NIST, and then you explain it to them. They see what it's more cost efficient and provide more business assurance. It's different cases differently. In this case, you can explain them what you fully implemented that and you run 2 years cycle already. It's just not certified yet, but you can certify it at any point. In this case, you will know the standards. You will know how to integrate that. And you have essential skills of understanding how AI governance is working. How it's working? It's working from the beginning of evaluation of scope. When you're evaluating the scope, you're evaluating all issues related to AI and to your company. It's usually coming from 3 different areas. It's either AI affecting quality of your services, AI affecting copyright or intellectual property of your product, or AI affecting informational security and can cause data leak or data breach. So when you're covering these 3 issues in relation to different group of affected parties, it could be external parties, customers, suppliers, government agencies. It could be internal parties as your employees, subcontractors, different level of employees. Some employees can have privileged access. Some employees can have access to sensitive IP, to sensitive research and development information. When you're evaluating all these affected parties, as ISO standard suggested, you can see the scope. What area of your company operational flow need to be evaluated for risk. And after you will go through the risk evaluation as more kind of mathematically precise calculation process. When you evaluated risk, you will see the priority of risk for the different parties, and you will see the different risk evaluated for your objectives and targets. Objectives and targets is where your company going and what is more important for your company for the next 2-3 years. So when you're going through all these steps, you're somewhere in the middle of implementation of ISO standards, and it's already clear for you what needs to be done, what gaps you have, and what probably some missing points or missing opportunities what you haven't seen before implementing the standards. It's really simple, transparent, and valuable process, And you can do that simply only after reading ISO standards. Maybe you will need external help. I'm happy to help companies to walk through this process. That's funny enough for me to say because my schedule is fully booked until the end of this year. But I always can find time for interesting projects, so ping me. Or other part, you can find the text of the standards. I always recommend to buy it on a primary source of information on site ISO.org. The non-profit companies who for more than 100 years developing and testing and providing global standards. They have a huge research team. I was part of the working group developing standards for this company in 2004. So it's a big structure, and the standards has the unique point of a universal application. So they can be applicable to any industry. I was auditing research and development. I was auditing non-profit. I was auditing religious organization. I was auditing military, automotive. So ISO standards can be applicable to any companies in the world. And they tested by time. So the system tested by time. When you will understand how implement one standard, for example, ISO 9001, it will be easy for you to understand how implement ISO 27001 or 42001 artificial intelligence standards. So it's really fascinating, really kind of DIY area to understand how business work, and it's worth any MBA, honestly. So it's way more reliable than MBA diploma, trust me.